What is up guys, my name is Gav and welcome back to G Reacts. First guys, I've got to apologise. I know I keep sort of doing a few videos then disappearing again and coming back again. I'm really sorry about that. At the minute, life's a little bit hectic. I would go through all the rigmarole of what I've been doing for the past 3 months, but to be honest, you probably don't want to hear it. I can't be asked to say it, so let's just crack on with the video. That was a weird laugh. As ever guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell to see more videos, alright? Now today we're doing something a little bit different. Okay, so far I've covered short horror film reactions, I've done try not to laugh challenges, and sort of things to keep you guys entertained. That's been my job, to entertain you, okay? Hopefully I've done that in the few videos that I've done. But recently, I got a bit of inspiration talking to a really good friend of mine about the fact that sometimes people find it really difficult to open up. That was the conversation we was having. So first things first, I don't know how you guys see me at the minute. Like, I don't know if you see me as a funny guy or a guy that's just trying to be funny and failing miserably. I don't know. It's probably true. But you probably worked out I don't take life too seriously. I do like to take the piss. I do like to have fun. But I do actually have a serious side. And I thought in this video, I could show it to you. So basically the inspiration for this one came from a conversation I was having with a really good friend of mine a few weeks ago. And we were talking about the fact that people find it really difficult to open up, you know, to talk about their feelings. If something either bad's happened to them or if it's just they're struggling in some way in life, or, you know, it could be absolutely anything. People find it really difficult to talk. Now, I don't know about you guys outside of England, but we had this campaign going for a while where it was called Get Britain Talking. Definitely the right direction. And the more I spoke to my friend about it, the more I thought, yeah, it's really hard to open up to someone sort of face to face or one to a group, you know? Is it easier for people to sort of open up with whatever's going on with their lives if they're just in the room on their own? Now, at first, obviously that's counterproductive because there's no one listening, but I thought if maybe they did that into a camera or at least into their phones, like as a sort of audio message or just even type it out in an email or whatever, would it be easier to do it that way and have the choice to be anonymous? So basically the idea of this is you say your feelings or you say your problems or you say your topic into a device and you guys send them to me. I react to them, and if I can, offer some advice or at least give you a chance to just vent out your frustrations on a camera. The people that have actually sent me videos so far, and I'll get to you guys in a minute, have all each individually said that after they sort of vented out their frustrations or at least vented out their problems, they felt a lot better about it, even though there was nobody there responding. It's kind of like the effect of screaming into a pillow, you know, it's that sort of thing. To those people who did send videos in, thank you so much for sort of trusting me. Now rest assured guys, obviously this is a reaction video, so I've obviously never seen the videos you've sent me, I've never heard the audio clips. If you do want to remain anonymous in these, obviously I've told you when I put it out there, make sure you state that in the video, email or audio clip, and I'll make sure everything is blurred out, okay? So just to, in case you're thinking right now, hang on a minute, how's he going to know if he hasn't seen it? I'll edit it all so you don't get seen, okay? So don't worry about it. Also guys, before we start, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/GReacts. Follow the page, send me a message, do whatever you want to do, because it's really nice to talk to you guys, as today's video is hopefully going to point out. And don't forget guys, I'm also on Twitter as well, @G_reacts_88. Now the thing is, at the minute my Twitter account isn't really exactly active. I'm not sure really where to go with that sort of thing. I'm not really a social media genius, but my partner is. So Leanne, if you're watching, help me. And going back to the old school way, of course, if you do want to just send in an email, my email address is g.reacts88@gmail.com, okay? I was psyched, by the way, that whoever sent in the email for this video, psyched that you did that. You're the only one that did, right? Also, a little disclaimer, by the way, I just thought of this in my head, because that's what you think of things. I am in not any way claiming to be a professional on these subjects. I am not trained, I don't have a degree or anything like that. This is simply just me giving you guys a chance to vent out your frustrations or whatever problems you've got, and if I can think of something or some advice to give, I will happily give it. That's for all you fucking Karens out there, whatever you call them these days. Right then guys, with that being said, let's crack on. So, let's see what we got going on then. Okay, first up we have a lovely lady called Kat. Okay, Kat. Oh, okay. Now, I need to point this out. I actually know who this person is, alright? So it's not like someone I don't know. This is a very good friend of mine. Alright, Kat, let's see what we can do for you.
Hey Gav, so I have got a question / topic for you that kind of relates to us both in a way. As you know, I suffer with chronic illnesses, rare diseases, disabilities. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in my life, and I face a lot of judgment, a lot of horrible comments, a lot of stares, And a lot of the time I actually get this from the younger generation, from children, and also from kids a little bit older. I'll get comments especially from older kids like, you know, if I'm in my electric wheelchair, oh, look at the state of that, or oh, how embarrassing, or like kind of taking the mick out of me. I get lots of stares from children, which I understand because children are inquisitive, but I would love for children, if they are staring, to not be afraid to ask me, like, why are you in a wheelchair or what's wrong? Because I feel like there's so much innocence in that, rather than just an adult going, oh, what have you done then? You know, children actually want to know. And I just wanted to know if, especially knowing me and my disabilities, whether you think it's important to educate children from a young age that not everyone's the same. There are different people with disabilities. It's okay to ask, it's okay to question, it's okay to look, but not stare. I just want to know your kind of perception with it. You've got a new family, you've got a new baby, congratulations again. And obviously you've got Layla, who's 3 now. So is it important to you that you teach them that not everyone's different? There isn't really a normal, and it's okay to question, but it's not okay for the judgmental comments to, what am I trying to say, to assume, and it's okay to ask. Let me know your thoughts.
Right, bit of a weird echo in the headphones, so I'm going to take them off. You know, this sort of thing's so hard, because we could quite easily turn around to these people and say things like, you know, oh, be a bit more respectful, or be a bit this and be a bit that. But then at the same time, I think the sort of issue that you have sort of comes with the territory a little bit. I mean, you know, you're in a wheelchair, you're going to get a stare, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. That's just the way society seems to be these days. It's more ignorant than it is understanding. There definitely needs to be some sort of education in this. There's definitely needs to be a lot more awareness in this. And not just in your case, like I think there's so many things out there that are like hidden disabilities, you know, and some people just do not understand the grasp of it. Like they see it as different, whereas they perceive different as weird. Honestly, anybody like yourself, Kat, I do not feel sorry for, because I know you have the mental capacity to deal with it, but I have a lot of empathy for you, because it is hard. It must be really hard, and I can't turn around and say I know what you're going through, because I really don't. I speak to you on the phone quite a lot, you know, we FaceTime quite a lot, and I see you go through things and I think, man, how is she doing this? Like, you know, I've seen you on some of your worst days, Kat. It's quite funny how you mentioned people, instead of staring, just go up and actually ask. I remember when I was, just to give an example, I remember when I used to work on the holiday parks, and I remember there was, I saw someone in a wheelchair and they only had one leg, and then I said to my mate at the time, I was like, I wonder what's happened to him, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it, it's none of your business, which is true, it is none of my business, but I was curious, and I was like, why don't I just go and ask? Hopefully I don't offend him, I don't really know what's going to happen. And I went over, and in a non-subtle way I just kind of went, what happened to your leg? Just sort of opened up the conversation. And I remember he sort of looked at me and smiled, as if to say, finally someone who's not being awkward about it. And he said he was he was in the army, and it was a landmine that got him. It wasn't like he wasn't on the landmine, it was like shrapnel of a landmine going off, and the shrapnel got in his leg and he had to have it amputated because it got infected. And I thought, my god, that is incredible, really, isn't it? I mean, it's tragic what's happened to him, but the bravery that guy must have gone through and what he's going through now. I mean, his life's turned upside down now. He's got one leg. It's massively important to me that my children understand that there's, you know, the world's not just as black and white as you see it. You know, there's worlds and sort of layers underneath it where people have to go through certain things, and every life's individual. I mean, you might have someone in a similar situation, but how they handle it will be different to you. It's such a shame that society is the way it is these days, though. It is a lot of ignorance, like I said, not just with your topic, with a lot of things. There seems to be this weird normal in society that's acceptable. I don't know who outlined that. I don't know where someone just went, that's normal, that isn't. I don't know who decided that. And I know you're doing a lot of work on YouTube right now, and you're trying to spread awareness, and that in itself must be exhausting. I just really hope one day, Kat, that your work pays off, because it's, you know, there's got to be a turning point somewhere. You know, there's got to be light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. Just keep pushing, Kat, because that's all you can really do. And, you know I message you every other day saying the same thing, and I'm sorry I can't offer you any better advice than that. I don't think there's anything you can do that's different to make it easier for you right now. I think you've done everything you can. So keep doing it. Don't stop. Okay, who've we got next? We have somebody called Martin. Yes, indeedy. Martin, I'm going to grab my headphones, my friend. Oh. Let's see what we can do, if anything, to help you. Here we go.
So back in 2018, I lost my granddad, and then I lost my uncle 8 weeks after. I had an argument with my uncle 2 days before he passed away. So when I got the phone call saying that my uncle passed, my head had gone. My mental health suffered a massive decline. To say I drank for 6 months straight, turned the corner massively without any help whatsoever. I've not drank for 4 years straight. That's through my own choice, my personal opinion. Nobody forced me to do it. Not looked back since. Well, I do look back just to see how far I've come in that time. I just felt like there was no help out there whatsoever for people who suffer from mental health. I went to Healthy Minds, and basically Healthy Minds turned around and said to me, where was I? Because there was a lot of background noise. And because I was walking over a bridge. Sorry to say it, but I obviously wasn't dangling off that bridge because I've got 2 young kids to think of. They wouldn't help me. So obviously I had to do everything myself. Strength, courage, everything, all on my own. I'm proud of how far I've come.
Wow. That was really heavy, mate. Thank you for sending that in, because that must have taken a lot. First thing I want to say, massive well done to you, and massive congratulations. I hope that doesn't sound patronising. I'm really sorry, but it's really difficult to go down a really dark path like that and to pull yourself out without any help whatsoever. That you should be massively proud of that. No matter what's going on with your life right now, that should stick with you. Losing a relative, mate, it's a real odd one, isn't it? Like it's the most natural thing, but the most painful at the same time. It's really hard to deal with. And some are more painful than others. Like, for example, if your parent passes away, it's devastating, but that's the way it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, you have a mother or a father or both, and they go. And then they pass the torch to you, and then you have kids, and then you pass the torch to them. That's how it works. So you turn to drinking. That's rough, mate. That is really rough. This is another thing where unfortunately I can't turn around and say that I know what it's like to go down that road, because again, I don't. I've never been in a position where I felt like I had to do that. You know, like I say, everybody's different. But listen, mate, at the end of the day, you're a human being. If people turn around and judge you and say, well, why did you turn to drink? You had a choice, they're the people where you can just put at the back of your mind, okay? Because at the end of the day, they're not in your head. They don't know how your head works. You're the only person. No matter how many times people turn to you and say things like, I know you inside out, they don't. You're the only one that does, okay? So if you went down that path, that's because that's what your brain decided to do. What I think's amazing about your story is the fact that, one, you've not actually asked me anything, which is great. I love the fact you just grabbed the camera and you just spoke into it, and I really hope that's helped you out. You should be dead proud of that, mate. Honestly, that is a rough story. You really came out the other side. You pulled yourself out of a really dark hole there. What I really didn't like hearing you say in that video was the fact that you walked across a bridge and you obviously had that thought. That's about as dark as it gets, really. And again, I don't know what it's like to go there. I really don't. But there's a really nice twist on what you were saying, is the fact that you got there, but then you said, I remember I've got 2 young kids. That, my friend, is something I can relate to. I do everything for my children. I would do anything for my children, and you're clearly exactly the same. So you're a great dad. I can already tell. You're going to be fine. And when it comes to losing a loved one as well, keep every single memory in there. Now, obviously you said you had an argument a few days before he passed. I'm going to say something now, Martin. We all say words. Okay, we all just say words. If you argue, it's all heat of the moment, my friend. It's just how it is. Me and my missus, we argue, words are thrown around. But I'll tell you what, as cheesy as this is going to sound, it's not about what comes out of here. It's about what you feel in there. That's what's important. Forget all this. Forget the shouting. Forget whatever it is you said to each other. It doesn't matter. That guy clearly loved you, and you clearly loved him. And as long as that's there and in there, you're good to go, mate. You're going to be just fine, all right? Thank you so much for sending that in. That means a lot to me, to be honest, because that's a very deep one. Nice one, mate. All right, who have we got next? So, another Martin. Brilliant. Okay, that's great. The first Martin was T-I-N, and this one's T-Y-N. So, keeping me on my toes there. I like it. All right, let's see what Martin's got to say.
Hi, Gav. Just wondered if you could share your thoughts on this situation I've got going. So I grew up really poor. I didn't have a house. We always move in different houses. Probably about 30 properties we lived in as we grew up. We had no father. Mother was poorly. So I thought it's quite important for me to leave a legacy for my son and his son, his children. So we moved outside of town where it's cheaper, so we can save. Just generally everything's cheaper. But my son's school is in town, which is not a problem for travelling. It's okay. But the main thing is he misses out on a lot of social interaction with other children. Where we are now, there used to be children here, but they've moved away. And he doesn't really get to play with anyone after school. So what the sacrifice is he will have a house to his name, or do we move back into town and give him a better childhood? Just wanted to know your thoughts on that, mate. Cheers.
Ooh, okay. That's interesting. That is tough. That is a tough situation. This one I can't really relate to, Martin, I'm telling you. So first of all, we're poor. I think 2022 in England, mate, everybody's poor. 30 different properties, that is mad. That is absolutely mad. That is such a hard dilemma because you want to give your child everything, even if that means literally spending your last penny. But at the same time, you need to teach them that life isn't always like that. So where's that line? How do you define where that line is of giving them what they want to teaching them that it's not always going to be that way? Do you know what, mate? I can already tell you're a great dad just from the way you've kind of put this dilemma across. So your problem is you want to make sure that your children are just stable financially. Like you say, have a house to their name, but you also want to give them a great childhood. And you feel like you can't give them both. But let me ask you this. Why? Just because you've moved and you've sort of moved away from the life that you knew there doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have a bad childhood. It just means it's going to be different. I grew up without a dad, more or less. I had 2 older brothers to bring me up and my mum, who were absolutely amazing. And it really is one of those things where if you get like a curveball in life like that, it really does teach you how to adapt, and it teaches you how to survive, really. When I'm in a choice like that, my head goes back to the basics. It goes back to the fact that, okay, right, do we have the necessary things in life right now to provide for my children? 1, do you have a roof over your head? Sounds like you do. 2, are them children being fed? Absolutely. 3, are them children being loved? Sounds like they are, Martin. And I feel like they're the 3 main things that you need to think about. Everything else is adaptable. Every friend that you make is adaptable. It's not always nice where you have to move away from friends that you know, but who's to say this isn't going to move on to a nicer childhood than what was going to happen over there? And the thing is, Martin, you're there now. You can't go back in time and change things. You can't do that. So you might as well make the best of what you've got. So I think you've made a really good decision moving out of town and making sure you can save up enough money and making sure that you can provide for your children. I think that is a very strong dad quality, and I think that's great. Because to be honest, Martin, I like to think I'm a good dad, and I'd have done what you did. Having kids is fucking hard, isn't it, mate? Jesus Christ. It's amazing, but it's so hard. So many choices. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm responsible enough to do it. I was having a conversation with my mum the other day, actually, about sort of opportunity and money and things like that. And like I say, we're not financially set right now. Me and my family, we're all over the place. And my mum, she had to bring 3 of us up while she was in debt. I don't know how she did it, and I said to my mum, and I hope this helps, I said to my mum, how did you do that? To be honest, I wasn't a horrible child, but I was a bit of a cheeky one when I was younger, so I gave my mum a hard time. And I was like, I don't understand how you managed to do all that, stay sane, bring 3 of us up, and my 2 older brothers are incredible human beings. They're amazing. And I feel like all my morals are intact, and I feel like I've got a good grasp on, respect and things like that. So she's not brought us up and we turned out to be convicts or whatever. And I said, how did you do it? And all she said to me was, she paused and she just went, you just do. And for some reason, I understood that so much, because we've been through so many situations so far with my children. Like I said, my oldest is only 3, she's 4 in October, and I completely get it. When you're in your worst situation, for some reason you just do it, I don't think you're gonna have any problems there. I think you're smashing it, so just keep going. Like, and I know you said like there used to be children where you're living now and now they've gone. Who's to say that there won't be more? Like, you know, it's just one of those things, you just don't know what's going to happen. So just literally take each step as it comes, mate, and just crack on, because I think you're doing a great job. I think you're going to be your best counsel on that one, Martin. I think you're going to make all the right decisions. You're probably making more mistakes than you do good choices, but I massively believe that it's how you deal with those mistakes is what makes you the sort of dad that you are. I don't think you've got a problem. I think you're going to be all right. I hope that helped, mate. I really do. All right, last one then. So let's have a little look. I think on this one's an email, which again, I'm so happy you did that. Keeping the emails alive. Okay, email. So it says, "Hi Gav, I'd prefer to keep this anonymous if that's okay." Oh, okay. I'll make sure I blur out all that information there. Okay, so it says, "So me and my husband have recently separated. He makes an effort to see our children. He started off seeing them twice a week, but now slowly made it down to once every 3 weeks. He says it's because of work and he won't be able to pay the child support without doing those shifts. Am I being unreasonable by thinking he isn't making enough effort for the kids? He also has a new girlfriend who has 2 kids. Thanks." Oh. Now this is tough. Okay, let me just double check I got all this right. So first of all, he's separated. I'm really sorry to hear that. I can't see myself not being with Leanne, my missus, so I don't... If she ever split up with me, I'll just lose myself if she split up with me. He makes an effort to see our children. He started off seeing them twice a week. Okay, that's good. That's like every weekend, I guess. But now slowly made it down to once every 3 weeks. Once every 3 weeks. That's not a lot, is it? I'm not sure about the term you've used there. Now slowly made it down to once every 3 weeks. I'm guessing so. He must have started off every weekend, like every 2 days, like Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm assuming you mean like then it went down to just a Saturday every week, and then it went down to maybe 1 Saturday every 2 weeks, and then it, like you say, it became what it is now. Now he says it's because of work and he won't be able to pay the child support without doing those shifts. Am I being reasonable by thinking he isn't making enough effort for the kids? Okay, so what I don't want to do in this situation is tell you what to do. Okay, because that's not the point of this. But I will tell you something that I said to my missus, Leanne. I said to her, because I do work a lot. This is the thing, I'm a musician, and I do a lot of touring, holiday parks, so I'm travelling a lot with my mate Scott. And we have gigs sort of like, at the minute it's not as much because of everything that's been going on, but back in the day before COVID, you were looking at about four days a week I was out gigging. And I did do that solely for my children and making sure that I could put food on their table, because that's the only way I knew how. Because before doing that, I was an entertainer. I never really had a real job. I don't have that many qualifications. So being a musician is what I'm best at, and the best way for me to make money for my kids. So I understand what he's saying, that, you know, he wants to be able to keep making these payments for his kids. But the one thing I did say to Leanne, I said, if I ever get to a point where my children turn around to you and say something like, "Why is Daddy always working?" or "Where's Daddy? He's gone again," then tell me, because then I will reduce all the work that I do and I'll make it so they can see me more. Because money's one of the things that sort of comes and goes. Sometimes you get money where you don't expect it, sometimes it's taken away when you don't expect it. 99% of the time you have to work really hard for it. But the one thing that doesn't go away is the love for your children. Like, it's unconditional. No matter what's going through your heads or what's happening in the family, you will always love your children to some degree. So if me and Leanne separated and I was seeing my children twice a week on the weekends, I would do everything I can to keep it as much as that, if that's all I can do. The fact he started like that, and you say it slowly happened, and he also has this other family with 2 other kids, that's where it's getting a bit funny for me. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. It sounds to me, and this isn't facts, this is just my opinion, it sounds to me that, you know, I don't know what your circumstance was, I don't know why you split, I don't know whether it was a cheating situation or not. It sounds like it could have been, because the fact you said recently separated, and then the fact that you said he also has a girlfriend who has 2 kids, that says to me that he was cheating on you with them. So if that's not the case, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to assume that's the case. If that is the case, it sounds to me like he's slowly descending towards this other family. And a good excuse would be to say, I'm working all these shifts so I can pay for child support. Now the question is he paying all the child support? Is he giving you the money that you think you that he's claiming to work so hard for. If he is, then there may be some truth in what he's saying. I'm not condoning it. I think you should always make time for your children, no matter how much money you're making, no matter how much work you're doing. Your children must have your complete priority. If that money's not coming in, then there's your answer. He's favouring this other life more than the one he had with you, and that's just disgusting, really, to be honest, because you don't really do that. Here's my advice: forget him, let him do whatever he wants. If he wants to see his kids once every 3 weeks, that's his loss. Your kids are probably amazing. If I was you, focus on being a mum, focus on doing everything for those children, bring them up exactly how you want them to be brought up, and then eventually they can decide. And I'll tell you something, if he stays like that, them kids will resent him. They will. It's just the way it goes. If he doesn't make time for them, they're not going to make time for him, because they're not going to understand how it works. They're not life trained yet. And when they get life trained and they're a bit older, and maybe they're in their own relationships with their own children, then they're going to get it. I do think parents, mums or dads, you have to make that time. And I'm not judging anyone, I'm really not. I'm just saying sometimes it's hard to make that time, because people obsess over work. They obsess over making money, because that's just the way society is. The more money, let's have lots of stuff, and let's, like I said, it'll come and go. Okay, I've experienced that. I've had moments where I've had a lot of money, I've had moments where I've had no money, I've had moments where I've just been comfortable. I've been in all three of those scenarios, and all three of those scenarios I still had time for my children no matter what. I'm going to leave you with that. Focus on being a mum, focus on being you, because at the end of the day, that's what the kids are going to remember. Well then, guys, wow, that's everybody. Okay, I really hope I helped. Like I said, my advice, it's not factual, it's just an opinion. I'm not claiming to be some sort of world-round oracle. I don't have the answers. My opinions might not even be valid. The people who sent me those videos, probably, you might have just listened to me then and gone, the fuck's he talking about? Do you know what? This doesn't just apply to you guys. Anybody watching this video who's had similar situations to what you've seen, hopefully people speaking out like that has helped you to speak out, because that is so important. Please, if you've got any issues in your life, if you've got anything going on whatsoever, just talk to somebody. And if you can't talk to somebody, then like I say, my email address is there, my Facebook's there, my Twitter is there. Please just get in touch with me. I will talk. Ask anybody who knows me. I will talk to anybody about anything. I love to talk. I love to speak about life. I love to advise people. I love to give opinions. I love all that. Okay, so please, if you can't talk to anyone around you and you just want to talk to a complete stranger who can't judge you whatsoever, then get in touch. I'll happily do another one of these videos. And even if it's not a video, just contact me. It doesn't have to be a video. I'll FaceTime you, I'll chat with you one-on-one, I don't care. As I said before, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell to see more videos like this. Once again, to the people who posted videos to me today, thanks for being a part of that and supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully I've supported you, and I will continue to support you. If you want to send more videos, the same people, please follow up with how your situation is now, because I know these videos were sent a couple of weeks ago. Follow them up. Please tell me how you're getting on. Alright, I really want to know. Comment down below if you want to. My nose is really getting bugged up today. I'm so sorry. I should have mentioned I had a cold. Oh, but guys, that is all from me for now. You've been absolutely brilliant once again. I'll be posting more videos soon, so do keep an eye out for those, okay, guys? But once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you all have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.